Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissick and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissick.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey, Dana. So I leave Ohio and you show up in Kentucky.
Well, I know. We didn't time that very well this time.
No, we did not. Okay, so.
Are you back though now? You're at home, right? In Texas?
I'm back in Texas, yep.
Oh, good. Is everybody there today for Father's Day, or who's there?
Everybody's there for Father's Day, yes.
Oh, good.
Everybody's here for Father's Day. Very nice. We're about to eat tacos.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. Well, I decided what's easy, because the unfortunate thing is if we grill, it makes the fathers have to cook.
That's true.
And which Press did grilled chicken anyway, because that's what he wanted on his taco. But the truth is they always do all the cooking, and it's like, it's Father's Day. So I said, let's do build your own tacos.
I love it. It's a great idea.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So we got two more great points. Probably these might be two of my favorite points in his book, Legacy Letters.
I know. It's like they just keep honestly getting better and better as they go. Just so good. And the next couple are really good too. I love them. So today we're going to talk about the let it go principle, and then also the do it now principle, both of those. Yeah. I think our listeners have been loving these too, because people have been commenting saying how much they're getting out of them.
Yeah. And kind of these two go together, right? Because to be honest with you, most people are trying to build a better future, but they're still dragging the past with them or hanging on to something that's not helping them get there. They're carrying maybe old disappointments or old mistakes or, old images of themselves, and it's keeping them from moving forward.
Yeah, I love when he starts with the let it go principle, and he says, the load is lighter when you choose to let go of the non-essentials. And he basically starts by kind of like talking about how to let go what everyone thinks of you. And he says, like, you can't control what everyone thinks of you, but you can control how you respond to it. And I really loved this part. He said, you can't carry every opinion, every criticism, every expectation. If you try, you'll end up exhausted and weighed down by burdens that you were never meant to bear. Letting go doesn't mean that you don't care. It just means that you've chosen to release what you can't control and trust God with the outcome.
Yeah, I love that. Which, by the way, today I wore my custom-made to go with Let It Go.
I love mine too.
Yeah, because I think it kind of goes together. It's you can't. I used to have this saying that I always loved is, what people think of me is none of my opinion. None of my business.
None of your business. Yeah,
none of my business, right? And I can't control it. And to be honest with you, when you kind of really understand how human people are, I think you would just be so tainted if you knew, any bad thing someone thought about you or any, know what I mean? It would be so awful that you have to almost just be able to let it go because you can't control it. And I don't think it always means someone's a terrible person.
Yeah.
In Texas, we have this saying, you probably have it in Kentucky too. It says, bless their heart.
Yeah.
Say something about them. Bless their little heart. And then we say something about them.
So true. Yes, we have that too.
Yeah. So I think number one, it would probably ruin, maybe some relationships that shouldn't even be ruined, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a heavy burden.
I like how he talks about he quotes the Harvard Business Review, a recent article, and he said that the most resilient leaders have a next play mindset. They're able to reflect, learn, and then pivot forward without attachment to any past failure. They quickly process, take away any insight, and let go in order to move forward. And then at the bottom it says, carrying the past distorts the present. And I think about that, I know we just have a lot of high performers and leaders that listen, to the podcast. And he's talking about like the carrying the opinions, the criticism, what other people think about you too. But then also just like mistakes that you do or failures that you have, or I think you started by saying like old opinions that you had of yourself. Because he says that when you let the past, like when you carry all that stuff, it distorts the present, and then you get decision fatigue. Or you might have like, what does he call it? Relational tension, or your emotional margin is really low. And then that all leads to burnout, which is just so true.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think more than anything, when people hang on to things or have a certain skewed perspective of things, so much of what you do now and decide for the future is the perspective that you're holding on to. And
Yeah.
if you think about it, if it's not really serving you well, that's going to continually be a loop in any decision or anything you try to move forward with, because
Mm-hmm.
you keep hanging on to something that's probably, and I love that Katie Byron, where she asked, is it true, is it really really
Yeah,
true?
is it really, really true? Yeah.
With most perspectives are just maybe that day, I just know some days when when I feel more, I don't know, wounded or weaker or whatever, I can take something and it can bother me, and then
Yeah.
another day it can bother me at all, and it's like, okay, that really says more about me than
Yeah.
what the person said or
Yep.
what they did.
Have you ever had something, I think we talked about this before, but like, you'll wake up like at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're thinking about it or like replaying it over in your head?
Oh my god, a million times. Oh, you mean like if there was a conversation,
Yeah.
you try to figure out what they mean by it or what?
Yes, that, or like you wish you wake up at 3 and you're like, oh, well, I should have said da 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 da, but I
Oh,
didn't say.
oh yes. I wish I was not a slow processor. I mean,
Me
I'm a
too.
quick start, which gets me in trouble sometimes, but
Same.
I'm kind of when it's needed, I'm a pretty slow processor, and I'll think of the best answer later. I'm like,
Me
dang,
too.
what? I should have said this, and so now I'm waiting for a next opportunity to
To
try
get it out. Yeah.
it.
Well, he's well, it made me think about, because he says in here, like some people when they struggle to let go, they confuse reflection with rumination, and rumination just replays like the pain on loop over and over. Or I think about like it is like I have like ruminated on stuff before, like over and over in my head, and I'm like, oh, I should have said that, or what about that, or what about that, instead of truly just letting it go, just like let it go, it's done, just let it move on and let it go.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, I just had something like that recently where Jim said something kind of flippantly, and I woke up this morning, it was still bothering me, and I'm like, okay, but thank God I prayed about it first. And and then I watched a video on godly wives, and I thought, okay, literally, Linda, seriously. I mean, in my mind, we were divorcing over it. It was awful. It was like it was this big deal, and I'm like, seriously, Linda, is this really that big a deal? So I let it. I let it go because we were
Good.
talking
You
about letting
practiced
go.
it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So the other quote I always like to say, and I think of this when I think about letting it go, or I want to get into something that really I shouldn't get into, is "Not my monkey, not my circus."
Oh yeah.
That has
Yeah,
helped me so many times. It's not my monkey, not my circus. And if
totally.
it is my monkey and my circus, I'm going to do the second one, which is do it now.
Yes, that we're getting ready to go into. Yes, totally. Yep, I love that. Well, he gives a couple of ways that you can like tune into the let it go principle, as he says. The first one is master the art of the mental reset. When something, I love this. When something frustrates you, it's okay to feel it, but don't set up camp there. He
Mm,
says just build a 5-minute reset habit into your day and move on, like reset, just reset your mind and move on from that. And I think that's just a great thing to do.
mm,
The second one is adopt the suitcase rule. In every situation, imagine every situation, sorry, as a piece of luggage. Before you carry it home, simply ask, is this mine to carry? And I think that's so good. He said, if it doesn't help you live better tomorrow, then just leave it. Like it's not yours to carry. And then the third one is create mental no parking zones. He said topics that you won't allow to dominate your thoughts. For example, what others think of you, mistakes that you already made, conversations you wish had gone differently, and grudges that you're tempted to hold. Just like he even says, post a visual reminder somewhere that you'll see that says no parking here, meaning like you catch your thoughts when they're starting to circle and be unproductive, and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna let that, it's not gonna take up space in my brain.
mm-hmm, so true. God, that's so good.
It's so good. I mean, and because we all can do that. And then really a big piece of it is forgiveness. And he said it's not about pretending everything is fine, it's about refusing to give the past authority over your future and moving on to just forgive in order to protect your peace. I've been kind of big on that lately, like I'm just trying to protect my peace. So
Yeah.
if it's not, then if it's like something that I don't know, it's not worth it, then I'm like, okay, but remember, like you're trying to protect your peace, so just let it go.
Well, and I remember the saying on resentment. Resentment is like drinking rat poison and waiting for the rat to die.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's going to die.
So true. Yes, it's so 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 true. And you also hear one of the reasons why I've been trying to really practice protecting my peace lately is because you know how we've been talking about how like gosh everybody seems like everybody's sick, and I mean they say a lot of that is like how you're how emotionally you are and like inside of your body and all of that stuff, and like are you living in a constant state of just
Yes.
stressed all the time, or like are you living in are you peaceful with it? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to start to protect my peace a little bit better.
Yeah. And it's so true. You don't realize that, but I have had situations where I immediately have a stressful thought or situation happen and literally go into AFib. My heart literally jumps into extra beats or something.
Yep.
Or yesterday, something similar happened. I saw someone that is very pretentious. I saw him at the gym, and literally my heart rate, I didn't even have to walk or run or do anything. My heart rate shot up.
Shut up. Yeah.
And it was like, okay, this is how powerful your mind is.
Yep.
If you can learn to control that, you're going to control so much of your stress.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? I mean,
Wild.
I have had that happen before too. Like just being around somebody can make it, go up. Which I also love though on the opposite of that. He says in the book, your peace can be contagious. And there are certain people that when I'm around them, like they're so peaceful that I'm like, you know what? That makes me kind of want to be more peaceful. Like, or like, they just like don't let things bother them really. And I'm like, man, okay, that is kind of like, I want to be like, it is. Sometimes I do think the peace can be contagious, just like the opposite, can be contagious too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I also love in here, he said, just remember that not everything deserves your energy, not every offense deserves a response. And that I circled that because for me personally, I think that is I don't know, that can be like a trigger sometimes for me. I think it's because of my Enneagram 8. Honestly, the more that I like read about it and think about it, which we've talked about that on here, but remember a healthy 8 is like, the greatest achiever and all these great things, but an unhealthy 8 goes to anger, and they do it a lot when they feel like
somebody's taking advantage of them or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And so sometimes, or even like, just little things that people will say, I'll like find myself offended the rest of the day. And I'm like, why am I feeling like that's so stupid? Like, I don't need to waste my energy on that.
Yeah.
But I did like when he talked about that. He said his wife's grandmother modeled it better than anyone that he'd ever seen. She had the best attitude. And he said she was famous for saying, just forget about it. You got the world by the tail. And he said that he just remembered that, like, his whole life or whatever, because it was her way of saying this isn't the end of the world. Just let it go and move on.
Yeah. Well, I think the older people get and the wiser people get, the more they understand what matters and what doesn't matter. Pick your battles. I loved it. He said, letting go is a discipline. It's not a one-time event. It's a mindset. And when it becomes your mindset, your whole leadership approach shifts. You move from being reactive to being centered, from triggered to thoughtful.
I circled that.
The world doesn't need more burdened people. It needs more whole ones.
Yeah. That was like probably one of my favorite things. I circled and starred that in here. I love that because it is something really good to think about. Like you do move from triggered to thoughtful. And I feel in such a better headspace when I'm being thoughtful rather than when I'm constantly being triggered.
Yeah. And I think too, like I remember I'd always say things to Jim, like, okay, this is my reaction, not my response, but just let me have it. Because what I wouldn't think about is I would have my reaction about someone to him. Well, the next thing I know, he's
fired up. Yeah.
He's fired up on them. I'm like, no. I just needed you to hear my reaction. Yes. It's not my response. I'm not going to respond this way. I need to process it.
Yeah, it's so true. Adam and I actually we were talking about something about one of the kids, and I was like, oh, that just triggers me so bad. And then he was like kind of getting to, and he was like, well, I never even cared about that until you cared about it. And now I care about it. And I'm like, oops, sorry. Maybe I should have just kept it to myself.
Okay. I'm just going to tell you this. We need to get a kids that are getting grown and grown up expert on our podcast.
Yes, we do. Who is it?
I don't know. But let's find them because we need them real bad.
If you're out there listening and you are an expert on adult kids, please email us at info@everythinglifeandrealestate.
I tell you what, something Max Lake said on our podcast was
The last thing he said about
thing he said was when after 18, you can only be their cheerleader. I thought, oh my gosh.
yeah,
Well,
he said don't criticize, only be their cheerleader or something like that. Yeah.
that's so hard.
Yeah, because for one, I mean, Addison is about to be 18. I know your kids are older, but it's like you still like I still think he's like 10. Like when you look at him, like you still kind of think that they're younger, but they're not. But they're also like they don't really
We need Dr. Henry Cloud again.
Oh yeah, we do need him.
Perfect. He would be perfect. I don't think we'd like his answers, but he'd be perfect. On my 2-hour free coaching when we gave him a plane ride.
I forgot about that.
He's got this problem. He kept saying, "No, she doesn't." I'm like, "Yes, she does. You did not hear me. Let me start over." Like, no, she doesn't have the problem. I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute. I have the problem because I'm making it my problem." Yes. So I don't know if we want him on here or not. We might not like what he says to us.
Although I will say he is one of those ones that I feel like is like all the time peaceful, and it is kind of contagious. Like he's never really triggered, or, he just seems like all the time, like in that
so calm
zone.
Yes. Well, yes, that's so true. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I love this part. It says, so forgive quickly, love generously, release what weighs you down, and keep going.
Yep. Yep. So good. Yeah. So good. Yeah. That whole chapter, I'm glad you wore that sweatshirt today, reminded me of of Mel Robbins' Let Them. I mean, it's very similar.
Yes. Easy to say, hard to do.
Yes, totally.
When you care about people. And to be honest with you, when you're a problem solver yourself, my natural instinct, I'll hear somebody talking 2 aisles over and start wanting to solve their problem for them.
Same.
So it's my natural tendency, but you just got to know that I just got to know people don't do what we tell them. And I don't care how much you know the answer or you've lived it before. Some of the stuff they just have to experience. You have to let it go, let the train wreck happen or whatever, and be there.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, hard to do, but necessary. Well, the next one I know we both love because you already said it, but we're both quick starts. But he talks about the chapter 10, the do it now principle. And he just said, turn someday into today. And there are 3 words that sabotage more dreams than failures ever could: one day and someday. And I mean, I got a ton out of this chapter. I don't know. I feel like I am kind of a do it now person already, but there was still so much good stuff in here. It reminded me too in the beginning when he said, I don't wait, I act, and I act now. I'm not always confident. I'm not always ready, but I've trained myself to not sit on ideas, dreams, or responsibilities. He said, people that I admire the most, they don't just think, they move, and they don't wait until they feel like it. They do it now, because the greatest threat to a meaningful life isn't failure. It's actually delay. And I wrote in my notes, I've just remembered one of the things that Keller has always taught us, and that's time kills all deals. And I mean, I've lost some good deals in some situations because of not acting fast enough. And when you do, I still can think of just one big one, and it just kills me because I'm like, I should have acted faster on it,
I when I was reading through this, I was thinking also that when you think about some things, there are some things you need to kind of reflect and think before, when somebody's feelings are involved or something like that. But I think there's certain things that you just need to learn to have a speed, because the cost of starting is not as much as the cost of not doing it at all, know. And I think too that I know all the time, like I write, I've tried to write in my notebook, like if I'm listening to notes, if I really think I should take action on it, I put an A beside it.
Yeah, that's what Adam does. Yeah.
Because what happens is they just all get left behind after you leave the meeting or the whatever. And then the truth is, if I've got an A by it, and I think too, you could also then take it and do one of Dan Sullivan's impact filters.
Oh, yeah.
that would really tell you whether was that just a shiny, bright idea that crossed my mind, or do I
Yep.
really want to take action on it?
Yep, I know. I'm just looking because I have framed the impact on my office here in Kentucky. The frame impact filter. Uh, oh, actually, that's wild. That's going to be 10 years. August 8th, 2016, from when I was with you in Dallas, I think, or Dallas Preston Road, maybe. Whenever we did that strategic coaching day, remember, Jim?
That was our Flower Mound office, yeah.
Flower
We
Mound, yeah, and
did.
yeah, yes, but then we did. He introduced us to the impact filters, and I wrote mine on launching the office in Richmond.
Yeah.
And it was wild because when we opened, I had all of the success criteria except for one was done. But anyway, so I had it framed from writing that day, and I keep it in my office. But that would be such a great thing to do.
Yeah, and for the people that don't know what happens with the impact filter, it's when you have an action item or a project and you think you want to do it, you
Yep.
put it on this impact filter and you go through and you go ahead and think through what would be the successes if you did it correctly, what would be the cost if you don't do it. And it's just, because with entrepreneurs, you have a million ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just one more step to decide if you want to waste your time, waste your team's time,
Yep.
everything else on it. What's else on that impact filter behind you?
It starts with a purpose.
What's the purpose of the project?
Yeah, what's the purpose of the project? Why do you even want to accomplish it in the first place?
Yeah.
The importance, what's the biggest difference that this will make? Your ideal outcome, what does the completed project look like? And then you come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 success criterias. What has to be true when the project is finished? Like if it's done, what are those measures of success? And then I love the two at the end. The best result, if you do take action, what happens? And the worst result, if you don't take action on this, what happens. And my if you don't was someone else will do it.
Yes.
And sometimes it's just that. I mean,
Well, about it, what has that one action done for you? It's changed lives. It's made
totally changed lives. Yeah, totally made me a lot of money, totally changed lives. I mean, it's introduced me to some of my, best friends in the whole world out of that. I mean, yeah, just that one decision.
Yes, that's just so true. So with such demand, there's so much demand, especially now because we're on information overload. There's so much demand for our energy and attention on a daily basis. It's tempting to tell yourself, I'll get serious about my health someday. I'll have the important conversation one day. I'll take the leap, write the book, start the business when the timing's better. I'll take better care of myself once things slow down. But here's the truth. The timing is never perfect. The calendar never clears. The feelings never all line up. That's why the do it now principle matters so much. It's not just motivational talk. It's a mindset, a way of living, a discipline that separates dreamers from doers.
Yes, I loved that. I highlighted that whole entire thing. And I actually did the next section too. Coach Nick Saban said, remove I don't feel like it from your vocabulary if you want to achieve mental toughness. No excuses. Champions don't wait on feelings to lead. They let action lead the way. Yeah, it's so good. I also like on the next page, Linda, when he talked about the founders mentality, which are people that have that like do it now, just they own it. And he said, or mindset. And he said, it's the difference between someone who shows up for a paycheck and someone who shows up with purpose. Founders don't wait to be told. They don't clock in and out. They take initiative because they care deeply. Then they go down and says they take full ownership. It's like the metaphor for leadership in farming. Farmers don't take ownership, or farmers do take ownership every single day. They know that if they don't do it, then it's not going to get done. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't get up early. Or they do get up early. Sorry, they get up early, they put in the work, and they trust that their efforts will bear fruit eventually. It's not glamorous. Most days it's gritty. But then he goes on to say, you don't build great things in one day, but you do build them every day. So you just have to keep plowing, like keep showing up and plowing. There really was a lot of good stuff in here. I also liked the price versus the perk when he said building a legacy isn't about the perks. It's about the price you're willing to pay. It's been said that there are two different kinds of leaders who ask, what will I receive? And leaders who ask, what can I give? And he said, Coach John Wooden used to tell his players, make today your masterpiece. He didn't mean win the game. He meant win the day, because greatness isn't built in champions. It's built in the practice, actually. And I just think so many of those are great reminders.
Yeah, that's so true. Gosh, and I think too, this kind of ties in with that compounding effect. You know, if you do that every day, it's going to compound into a winning season or a
Oh
winning
yeah.
championship.
I feel like we've actually said this before on the podcast too. He had on page 81. He said, whenever he hears the question, is the glass half full or half empty? It's supposed to reveal whether you're an optimist or a pessimist. But he said, I think it's the wrong question. Who cares? Just fill the glass. While everyone's debating what should happen, actionists are already solving the problem. And I thought, gosh, that's just so true.
Yeah. I love the, here are a few suggestions he
Yes.
gives. Fill the excuses. Stop waiting to feel ready. Take the first step.
Yep.
Shrink the task. Big goals get smaller when you break them into pieces. Create urgency. If tomorrow wasn't guaranteed, what would matter most? Make it a habit. Build a reflex of action. Do the next right thing. Celebrate progress. At the end of each week, Sunday nights for me, review what you've accomplished. I call it my done list. It reminds me that I'm moving and where I need to grow.
Yep. So good.
Dreams
So
don't come in gift wrap, they come in sweat.
Yeah, I love that. I love it so much. He talks about in the letter on the last page. I actually said I need to add this to my keynote where I talk about drifting. But we don't drift into lives we're proud of. We decide into them. And those decisions almost always require us to begin before we feel ready.
Yeah, so true. So true. I think waiting to get ready is probably one of the biggest problems people face is they want it to be perfect or they want to be ready. And I don't think you're ever ready. Well, I think of all the successful people we've either interviewed on the podcast or we've met at John Maxwell's thing. Every single one of them said every opportunity they took advantage of, they were never ready for.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. Didn't this one remind you of the 4 C's too? It reminded me of the 4 C's.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, awesome. So 2 more great talking points on letters, Legacy Letters by Pastor Chris Hodges. And we will cover the next 2 next time.
Yeah, sounds good. We got some good ones coming up. Ooh, the Who principle is next.
Oh, that's perfect for us.
Yeah,
so if you have not, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And the greatest compliment you can pay Dana and I is 2 things. 1, pass this along to anyone that you think that would enjoy these conversations. And number 2, give us a great review so other people who don't know us can find us. And if you have a challenge, a question, a guest, or especially a guest that knows about them adult children, let us know.
Yeah.
On the podcast and reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. Dana, I guess I'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. See
Well,
you then.
Adam, happy Father's Day.
Yes, tell Jimmy too, and Press.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.